Hello everyone, I am Priyanka. Welcomes you all in today's session. The topic for today's session is matrix multiplication in Java. Firstly, we will see mathematical concept of matrix multiplication, and then from that concept we will create the logic for developing a Java program. So if you see, I have defined here two matrices M1 and M2. So basically matrix which stores the values in the form of rows and column. So if we see M1 has 2 rows and 3 columns. So the size of matrix is 2 by 3. And M2 has 3 rows and 2 columns. So the size of matrix M2 is 3 rows and 2 columns. So whenever you want to make multiplication of two matrices, we should focus that number of columns in first matrix is equal to number of rows in second matrix. Then only we can make multiplication of these two matrices. After that, what procedure we follow to get the resultant matrix? So M1 into M2 going to give us some matrix. So this size of this resultant matrix depends on number of rows in first matrix and number of columns in second matrix. So now if we see our example that M1 has 2 rows. So size of resultant matrix going to be 2 rows and M2 has 2 columns. So resultant matrix going to have 2 columns. So resultant matrix will be of size 2 by 2. Now what logic we are going to use for making the multiplication? So logic behind is what? To get a value on the 0th row and 0th column of resultant matrix, we have to take 0th row of M1 and 0th column of M2 and make the multiplication and addition. So here I will show you one, that is 0th row and 0th column element of M1 into 0th row and 0th column element of M2, plus you will shift the column from M1 and you will shift row from the M2. So second 2 into 2 plus 3 into 3. So this is your 0th row and 0th column position. Next, for first row and 0th column position, we will take 4 into 1 plus 5 into 2 plus 6 into 3. So this is how we will get first row and 0th column. Similarly, for this part, I will show over here. For 0th row and first column, this is first row, 0th column, first row, first column. To get 0th row and first column, we have to take 0th row of M1 and first column of M2. So the multiplication will be 1 into 4 plus 2 into 5 plus 3 into 6. This is how we are going to get 0th row first column of resultant matrices. Next, 4 into 4 plus 5 into 5 plus 6 into 6. So this is your first row and first column of resultant matrices. This is how you are going to get a total multiplication data from the matrix M1 and M2. After this, resultant matrix, let's say our resultant matrix is RES. So this RES going to have value. After calculation, directly we get values. Directly we get values 14 on 0th position, 32, 32 and 77. So this is our resultant matrices. The same concept when we want to implement programmatically, what we have to do? we have to take one integer two-dimensional array because it will indicate your data in the form of two rows and columns which has values 1, 2, 3 and second row has value 4, 5, 6. Next integer m2 which has value 1, 4 in first row, 2, 5 in second row, 3, 6 on third row. This is our input matrices, and as we discussed, resultant matrices going to be of size 2 by 2. So we will take here new, we will instantiate it with the size 2 by 2. This is what our input and output. After this, if we see here, what we are doing in M1, we are keeping row constant and we are changing the column. In M2, we are keeping column constant and we are changing the row. And from this combination, we are making the multiplication and addition. Multiplication of each number, and after that addition of this multiplication, we get a element, final element. For this, to store the value sum, we require to declare a variable sum. And to access data from the matrices, as we know, we have to take nested for loop. So we will have nested for loop first for row. This will have control value of the size resultant matrix. So I have row size 2. So I will take here I is less than 2. For indicating column, we will have j is equal to 0, j is less than 2, j plus plus. Next one, this is indicating row and column. Now a third variable you have to take to switch the data. Like here, to switch from 0th column to first column, we require some control variable. Here from switching from 0th row to first column row, we require some control variable. That's why we are declaring a next variable for integer k is equal to 0, k is less than. What controlled value you are going to take for variable k? That depends on the size of m1 and m2. Whatever column size m1 has and whatever row size m2 has, that you have to take. So the value is 3 and increment the variable. After that, this concept we have to implement programmatically. So for that, what we will do? We have to store sum in variable sum plus m1 of, so row is remaining constant, so this will be I and k is changing, into m2. Here column is same constant and row is changing, so we will take k and j. This is how you will get a particular position element. Once it is done, we have to assign that to the resultant matrices. So I am taking resultant I of j is equal to whatever sum you are getting. So this will do for one loop of the k. After this, once this sum is assigned to particular position, according to this, on first rotation, we will be getting this value 14 on execution of one rotation. Once it is done, for next calculation, we have to make sum again 0. To initialize it to 0, what we will do? In outer loop, we will make sum is equal to 0. Complete ith column, ith for loop, jth for loop. After that, you can write nested for loop to display resultant matrices. Here I have taken static values of m1 and m2. For taking input from user, we can use scanner class. or any other input classes from the Java. I hope the concept is clear. In next video, the same concept we will implement using Java program. Thank you for watching video. If you like the video, please press the like button and subscribe the channel.